Hello, welcome to Yoga with Julia Wylie. I'm Julia, and this is a yoga session for complete beginners. This is a perfect sequence for you if you're interested in trying yoga or if you're looking for a nice, gentle yoga class. Now, there are 4 points I'd like you to remember if you're starting out in yoga. The first one is to always make your breath the priority. Now, what this means is that when you're in a pose and you find that you're struggling a little bit, often your breath can get a bit choppy. So if you concentrate on keeping the breath nice and smooth, in and out through the nose, you know that you're not pushing too far. That takes us on to the second point, which is to take poses to where you can feel a good stretch. They can be quite an intense stretch, but if it gets to the point where it feels painful, then always back off, always respect your body. Your strength and your flexibility will build at their own pace, very slowly in increments. But if you keep at it, you will notice a difference quite rapidly, actually, after a few weeks. The third point is to take breaks, especially when you're starting out. Listen to your body, take breaks. You can build up to the classes and be able to do a little bit more each time. And the fourth one, maybe the most important, is to have fun with this. If you don't enjoy the yoga class, you're not going to come back on the mat and do it again. So take it to the point that you're having fun, that your body is thanking you for it. And I hope you do enjoy it. Let's start off sitting now. In a comfortable position, cross-legged if that works for you, or else you can bring your legs out in front if that bothers your knees. Let's just do some deep breathing first. If you can, keep the breathing in and out through the nose, through the whole class, and also keep your tummy in, except for the relaxation at the end where we just relax all the muscles. So if you can, bring your hands onto your belly and feel how you can bring the belly in here, but as well lengthen up through the body, and then bring your hands onto the rib cage. And I didn't know before I did yoga that the ribs are not fixed, they actually move. So when you breathe, you should notice that the rib cage goes out on the inhale and in slightly on the exhale, so that even when you're having your stomach nice and tight, you can still feel the breath moving in and out and take nice deep breaths. So let's do that a couple of times. And then keeping the breathing like that, nice and smooth. Let your hands rest down on your laps. Close your eyes for a moment. And just feel the breath moving in and out of the body. Just letting this be your time. This is your time for yourself. So let everything else go. And let your chin drop to your chest and your eyes gently open. Just roll your head around one way a couple of times. Keeping the breathing nice and deep. Long, smooth inhales and exhales. And then let's roll the head the other way. So don't go too far, especially on the way back. Just easing into this practice. And then let's roll the shoulders around, all the way and down. So up and back, down and forward. So let's bring the head in as well. So looking up as the shoulders come up and back, and the chin drops as your shoulders come down and forward again. Big inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Now let's take the arms up overhead and stretch. So you don't just feel the stretch from the shoulders, but all the way up the rib cage as well, lengthening through the back. Keeping breathing, try not to hold your breath in these poses. So stretching up, inhale. As you exhale, take the arms all the way back down. Inhale again, reaching. Exhale down. And let's take them up again. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, take your left hand down. So I do the opposite. It's like looking in the mirror. A lot of people find it a little easier this way. So stretch up with your right arm and then just lean a little over to the side. This is the plant pot pose. So if you imagine your hips with a plant pot firmly rooted down while the upper body has more flexibility here. And then reach both arms up again. And as you exhale, take your right hand down, reach up and lean over, feeling the lovely stretch all the way down the left side of the body. And then reach both arms up, take your left hand down just a little bit behind you now, stretch up, inhale. Now keeping all that length in the body, bring your hand onto your knee and then press into a twist. Looking behind, wringing out the spine, from the base of the spine right up to the top of your head. And then release, bring the arms up overhead again. Stretch, get the body nice and long. I'm keeping the body long. Take your right hand down just a little behind you and then take the left hand onto the knee this time and twist and look behind. Growing taller with every inhale. See if you can press a little further into the pose with each exhale. And reach both arms up again. Inhale and exhale. Release. Well done. We'll come over now onto hands and knees for tabletop pose. So have your hands underneath your shoulders, your fingers spread wide, and distribute some weight onto your fingers so it's not all onto the wrists. Arms are straight with the chest lifted. Remember the belly stays in nice and tightly. Now hollow out the spine, look up like a wolf howling at the moon. Lift through the sternum here. And then as you exhale, come into a cat curl. So you tuck the tailbone under, the belly button presses up, and your chin tucks in to your chest. Flowing into the wolf pose. A nice long inhale as you look up. And then into the cat curl as you press that belly button towards the ceiling, rounding the spine. And let's go back a few more times. Inhaling as you look up. And exhaling as you look down. Just work with your own breath. So when you're halfway through the pose, you're halfway through the inhale or halfway through the exhale. And when you're looking up, you've got the full lungs and then into the cat curl. Once you're fully into the cat curl, you have no more breath in your body. So it's awareness of the breath and awareness of the pose. And then bring your body back to neutral. And take your left leg behind you and push back gently into the heels, stretching out the leg. And let's swap over. Take your right leg back. So press back so you feel a stretch all the way down the back of the leg. And release it. Now take your left arm up, stretch it out nice and long, hold it here, and release. And then your right arm, stretch it out long, and release. Now take your left leg out, lifting it, stretch out through the back toes, and lower. And then the right leg, stretch it out, lifting up from the hip. Keep pressing so the chest is lifted. And lower that leg. And then see if you can take out your left hand and your right leg. So you've got opposite hand and leg. If this is too tricky, just bring out either your hand or your leg to start. And then ease down and we'll do the other side. So take out your left leg and your right arm this time. Again, if it's too much, just do the leg or just do the arm. And then come back again into that tabletop pose and take the hips back towards the heels, walking your hands out in front of you. Let your head rest down on the mat. This is called child's pose, and it's a great pose to come to anytime you feel like you need a break during the class. You can close your eyes here. Just feel yourself melting down into the mat. So reach forward with the fingertips and back with the hips, so you're lengthening out the body. And take a nice deep breath here. Now come up onto your elbows. Bring your hands close to your elbows and then take the left hand out in front of you. Pull back with the hips and let your head rest down on your right forearm. Keep pulling back, stretching out backwards through your hips and forward through that front hand. And then lift your head and we'll swap hands. So the left hand comes back beside the right elbow. Take your right arm out in front and again pull back with the hips, dipping your chest towards the mat, and let your head rest down on your left forearm. Then breathe. And then lift the head, bring your left hand parallel to the right, and again pull back, dipping your chest towards the mat. You can let your head rest down on the mat here. Maybe your forehead will rest down. And take a breath. And then come up, walk your hands back again so you're in tabletop pose, and tuck your toes under behind you. We're going to go into downward facing dog. So you shift your weight back onto your feet and gently lift the hips up towards the ceiling, and then see if you can pedal your feet so one heel presses down and then the other, as one knee bends and the other. Now if your heels don't reach the floor, that's fine, just pedal them towards the floor. And then press back both heels towards the mat. They may or may not ever get there, and that's fine. If this bothers your lower back, you might like to have your knees a little bent so you can press back and lengthen out the spine this way. So find what works for you, what feels good. Have your head completely relaxed down here. You can even move it back and forth a couple of times. And then look forward, bend your knees and walk your feet, little steps up towards your hands, and very slowly roll yourself up to standing, one vertebra at a time. So as you come up, the tailbone tucks under, the body lengthens, roll your shoulders up and back and down, pressing the fingertips down towards your feet, lift up through the crown of the head, as if there was a piece of string pulling you up nice and tall here. This is called mountain pose. So in mountain pose, shift your weight for a moment to the front of the feet and towards the back, and then find a balance right in the middle, and then between your left foot and your right foot, and then have your weight distributed evenly between both feet. Imagine that your thighs were wrapping around this way. Tailbone is tucked under, belly button in, nice long spine, shoulders are back and down, and you're lifting up through the crown of the head. So mountain pose is basically very good posture. Now try and keep all that length in the spine, pressing the feet into the mat. Take your arms out and up, overhead, stretching out long. You can have your palms touching or just have your hands parallel to each other. Stretch long. So from the belly button to your fingertips, you're stretching up and then pressing your feet into the mat, lengthening the body. Now come to a flat back, taking the arms out like aeroplane wings. Press the back of the hands to the ceiling and stretch out through the crown of the head. Take a breath here, and then let yourself round down, your knees softly bent. Hold onto your elbows and let your head relax here. You can even sway a little bit back and forth. This is a great pose to stretch and lengthen out the back. And then release your hands, and again very slowly roll back all the way up into your mountain pose. And bring the hands to Namaste position at the heart center. Take a break. Take a breath. Well done. From here now, reach the arms out and up overhead. Grab hold of your right wrist with your left hand and pull. Inhale here, and as you exhale, lean over to the left. Your hip can go a little out to the right. Just sink into the pose, pulling on that top arm. And breathe. And then come back up and swap wrists. So grabbing your left hand with the right hand, pull as you inhale, and as you exhale, take yourself over to the right. Just lean into it. Take it to where it feels really good. A great stretch. And hold. And then come back up. Reach with both arms. And exhale. Bring your hands down onto your waist. And step your feet a little bit apart. Fairly wide stance. Take your left foot out, facing the front of the mat, and the right foot in just a little bit. And turn your hips to face that front foot as much as they go. They might not go all the way around. They probably won't go all the way around. Bend that front knee down. Press through the back heel into the mat. So the outside part of the leg is pressing down. And then if you can, bring your arms up overhead and look up between your fingers up towards the ceiling. This is called Warrior One pose. Now we're going to take it into Warrior Two. So bring your arms out to the sides, and for Warrior Two, the hips naturally face the side of the mat rather than the front. And you might want to take your stance just a little bit wider for this, so you can sink down, pull the body back so it doesn't lean forward over that front leg. Warrior Two pose. Proud Warrior Two. Well done. We're going to do that on the other side. So bring your feet up and turn the feet to face the other way. Maybe the stance just a little bit narrower. Your hands onto your hips and turn them to face your right leg this time. Bend into that front knee, keeping the body nice and upright so you don't lean over that front leg. Press the back of the back foot into the mat, the little toe side. And then if you can, reach your arms up, looking up. So you sink down from the belly button down, you're sinking, and from the belly button up, you're reaching and lengthening. And then we'll take it into a Warrior Two. So take the arms out to the sides, take your stance a little bit wider, bend down into that right knee, pull back on the body so it stays nice and upright. Again, you're sinking into the legs and lengthening up the body out through the crown of the head. Take the gaze out over your right middle finger if you can. Warrior Two. Well done. And then walk your feet in together into that mountain pose again. Reach out and up. Lengthening here, pressing the feet into the mat. Again, come to a flat back, stretching out through the crown of the head, straight legs, and then let your knees bend as you come and round down. Slowly bring your hands onto the floor and walk your feet back one at a time into downward facing dog. So not too far. Have your legs hip width apart and push your hips backwards. Let your head relax down and lengthen out the spine. Heels press towards the mat here. And take a breath. And then lower yourself down onto your knees. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Reach the arms up overhead. Inhale. And exhale down. And one more big breath in. Inhale. And exhale. Fantastic. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to yoga. You may like to give this video a thumbs up so it'll be saved in your favorites. Try doing it a few times, perhaps every day for a week, and see how you feel. Also, check out my Yoga for Beginners playlist, where there are lots of other beginner yoga sessions that you may like to try. Please leave comments and questions below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. All my videos are free, so you can do them whenever you like and as many times as you like. See you soon. Namaste.